Hello everyone, welcome back to channel. Today is day 10. Today we're talking about why American car makers just can't beat China anymore, meaning that the Chinese brands are now everywhere. If you just open your laptop, you check your YouTube, people are just talking about Chinese cars. Some people are saying that it's too cheap and not worth a buy, but some people are seeing it as a car with value, meaning that it has all the features or gadgets that they have or they need. But the thing is that, is it worth it? And it's up to you. As a consumer, there are a lot of things we will see. The first thing you will see is the price, you will see the after sales service, you will see the durability, and so on. Okay, different customer has different preferences on car. But in this video, right, I will just talk about why America is lagging behind. Like those countries like Ford, they are making very good cars. I mean, they have longer history of making cars than China. But why are they lagging behind? There are quite a lot of reasons. Very first reason is how China or these Chinese car companies bring down the cost. Okay, what they do is basically first, they themselves has a complete supply chain across China. So they have different industrial clustering system across the whole China, meaning that the different part of China, they are focusing on these cars, these components, and the northeast China, they were focusing on other components. So this makes the whole logistics to be highly efficient. And the important part is they have a lot of suppliers, meaning that the competition is very cutthroat. Let's say the supplier doesn't want to follow to lower the price or the cost, so they can just go for other suppliers because there are plenty. In fact, it's a pool of the whole list of suppliers that are waiting to get a project or from these big companies like BYD and so on. So it's good for consumer, but it's tough for the suppliers and also the manufacturers in China. But they've been doing that for the past 4 years, and everyone knows that it's competitive in China because of the price, and also they have to innovate, to make a products with cheaper price. Okay, that could be a first reason. Okay, very complete supply chain, they lower the price. And like you check BYD, right, you see there's a lot of suppliers. They even have their own battery companies, EV battery companies that can manufacture everything by themselves. So that's actually speed up everything. They don't have to depend on other country or foreign country to just make 1 or 2 components and they just ship to China and assemble in China. Right now, they can build everything by themselves, and that's why China is world factory. And the second thing is, the important part is the government subsidy. So if you just check through the Made in China 2025, you will see that they are focusing on a few areas. One of it is green energy and vehicles. Green vehicles can be EV. So they got subsidy for all these EVs. They will make EV, right? You will get subsidy and funding from the government. So BYD is making EV, and you just take out or disassemble everything, the BYD car. You see most part of it will somehow be subsidized by government. So this is actually trying to lower down the cost and make it competitive. And eventually they can sell car in a lower price to encourage people to buy. First thing is they will encourage the locals to buy. And the second thing is that they will encourage foreigners to buy if they're shipped overseas. So that's why BYD is such a thing. Because there are so many models, and they even have a very competitive price, and the gadget and the design can be very fancy as well. So it depends on you. Maybe you like it, but some people just feel like maybe it's not worth it. But you look at the price as a consumer, you like it, right? Because the price is just so competitive that other cars from other companies from other countries like Japan, like Germany, they can't actually produce a car with that price. That's actually too cheap. And some people are saying that some of these cars like German cars, they just somehow inflated the price, meaning that those cars like the Conti car, German car, BMW has been selling in a very expensive price because of the strong branding. And now with the rise of China, they are destroying the brand as well, making they can make such car but probably a fraction of the cost. And that actually kills off a lot of cars from other companies, from other countries, and also of course to United States, America maker. Another thing is EV. China has been dominating EV sectors, and that's actually very shocking. We see they have a whole supply chain for EV. And in fact, as I mentioned just now, for a battery company, they even have their own company to make battery. They even have rare earths in China. There's everything in China. They can build everything by themselves. More than 4 years ago, China just opened out to the outside world. They need investments. They need investors to bring technologies or to have joint venture with Chinese company. The reason is they need technologies because they need to build out their local talents. They also send a lot of students to study overseas. But nowadays, there are also a lot of talents now in China. They can build things by themselves, and it's now a world factory. Well, how long can it last? We're not sure about that. But for the past 40 years, from a technology backwater to what we see today, it can be very impressive as well. And this is actually to see China is now dominating EV industries. Okay, meanwhile for the American car makers, and many of them are still not focusing on EV. And I would say it's just quite recent based on what I saw. The only company in US that have been focusing on EV is definitely Tesla. But the other companies like Ford, all these companies, they are not actually focusing on EV. They feel like petrol cars is still reliable technologies, just refuse to innovate. Right? This is actually a very sad thing when it comes to differentiation in the company, right? So if you don't change, then eventually they just can't catch up with the changing trend. And that's why China has been pushing for this and pushing for EV, pushing for a greener environment. And that's why you see there are just so many EV in China. And that's why American car makers just found that it might be too late to catch up with Chinese cars. And recently, Donald Trump also imposed tariffs on Chinese imports, including the cars. So they're actually trying to stop some of the Chinese cars to go into the American markets, meaning that they have to somehow focus on the local automotive industries, which can be more expensive compared to Chinese cars. The cost of making a car in the United States and the cost of making a car in China can be different. So in United States, it can be very expensive. You are hiring one worker, it's like you're hiring 7 workers in China. And when we talk about timing and also the facilities, China have very complete facilities, as I mentioned just now, like complete supply chain. So in the United States, they had to build that as well, because for the past 20 or 30 years, they have been focusing to invest overseas. And that's why you see there are quite a lot of issues now in America. They're not trying to bring back some of the manufacturing bases back to American soil, but the cost can be extremely high. And it can be at the expense of the consumer eventually, because the consumer had to bear the cost, a rising cost. Right, so that's why this could be the few factors that's causing the US car makers to be so lagging behind compared to Chinese brand. And of course, China is not just focusing on America. Okay, America is a very big market, but China also diversify its markets, meaning that they are focusing on like Southeast Asia, maybe Africa, Europe, or Central Asia, or even Russia. Okay, basically the whole world. They're trying to export to the whole world with their branding as well. So they're trying to make Chinese brand going abroad, export abroad to other countries, and sell it. Right? It's not that easy. Eventually, they make it as well. So this could also be a reason why American car makers, they're not able to follow like China, where they just focus on exporting overseas, maybe to Southeast Asia or maybe to some other parts of the world. So in Malaysia, you see like Ford. Yeah, you see Ford, but the car can be very expensive. And some people are saying that maybe it's not so reliable like Japanese car, or even to further extent, let's say Chinese car. Right? So the cost can be quite expensive to own a Ford car. And if you have been driving Ford, right, you know that it can be quite problematic because of some very minor issues. When there are quite a lot of minor issues, right, you just add up everything, eventually you'll be like a major issues because you have to keep going to the workshop and to service your car. Right, so okay, I saw that as well. I saw my friends driving Ford. Okay, so in this video, I'll just share with you like personal opinion about Ford. And also, but in general, right, I'm talking about American car makers. They are still in a very slow transition from combustion engine to the EV. Okay, some people oppose EV. They're saying that EV is actually polluting the environment because they're using rare earth and everything. And some people are saying that EV is saving the environment because basically there's no smoke. So there's always two sides of the coin when it comes to judging technology. Alright, so this is actually a very simple video talking about some of the points on why American car companies are lagging behind. So this could be a few factors that are causing American companies to not able to beat Chinese cars anymore. Alright, so what do you think about this? If you like the content like this, please don't forget to subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you in the coming videos. Alright, bye bye.